Welcome to KMVC News. I'm Ilenia Exposito. Breaking news this week, as Missouri Valley's Mike Michaels is no longer working as the athletic director. KMVC's Chas Madi reports on this development from the Gibler campus.
Missouri Valley and now former athletic director Mike Michaels are separating after more than 34 years, with Michaels serving as a coach and administrator. This separation follows an incident on September 17th in which Michaels knocked down a student who was rushing the field following a goal in the final minutes of Missouri Valley's men's soccer match against Central Methodist. Officially, Missouri Valley has no comment. As a private institution, Missouri Valley isn't obligated to comment on its personnel matters. But Michaels wrote a letter to coaches detailing his account of events since September 17th. In the letter, Michaels writes the college offered him two options, neither of which he found workable. Michaels is a 1984 graduate. He's in the Valley Athletic Hall of Fame, the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame, and is a member of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. The MVC Delta has student reaction regarding the separation of Michaels and Missouri Valley College on mvcdelta.com. Once again, Mike Michaels, no longer the athletic director at Missouri Valley College. Chas Madi, KMVC News.
Michaels reacted to the Delta story and posted on Facebook, writing he was fired after refusing the two options. Michaels was in his second year as Missouri Valley's athletic director. Coming to college as a freshman can be a whole new experience, and knowing how to navigate through a new environment successfully can be tough. KMVC's Colin Williams reports what Missouri Valley is doing to show students what could happen down the road should they fail.
Missouri Valley College and the Missouri Community Action Agency have partnered for their poverty simulation, a simulation in which the incoming freshman class find out about the harsh realities and obstacles that may come in the future.
First time on campus, they're maybe dealing with being away from home and having anxiety. Maybe there are some needs that aren't being met there financially, and it just kind of helps to let them know as they go into their adult life what other agencies are out there besides the college.
Students were given new names to put in different stages of life, whether it be as a child going to school, an adult looking for a job, being homeless with a family, or even going to jail for leaving their baby alone and unattended.
We break it down into 15-minute intervals, and each 15 minutes represents a week in the life of someone living in poverty. So in the end, it's like living a whole month of trying to pay your bills, keep your mortgage, keep your home.
This was a way to show students that there will be obstacles on the road ahead. However, with the right tools and resources, it can be a smoother ride than they encountered in this simulation. Colin Williams, KMVC News.
This is the second year of the poverty simulation, and the plan is to make it an annual event. The Missouri Valley College Debate and Forensics team has qualified 3 students to nationals in 3 events. Their first qualifier was Shay Wilson, who competed at the Derryberry tournament in Bolivar, Missouri, and qualified in NFA-LLD. The second qualifier was Maria Grader, who competed at the Missouri Mule in Warrensburg, Missouri on October 13 and finished 4th in the final round of poetry, earning her national tournament qualification. True Nomovitz advances to the finals in extemporaneous speaking and finished in 5th place at the Mankato tournaments in Mankato, Minnesota on October 20th.
As a whole, we've already accomplished one of our goals, which was 1, getting more people into the space and trying new things, and 2, getting everyone that we had currently to show up on one practice, which was really exciting. We haven't had that. We hadn't had that before. I think it was like last Tuesday. We had everyone show up, and it was like amazing to have like 10 people in there at once, like all working on stuff. So it was super exciting. I think our other goal as like a team is we just want to like grow it into a better, like a more welcoming space. Like no matter, and we want to take those people to like nationals and like give you a spot, like, hey, your voice matters. Here's where we're going to showcase your voice.
The debate team is coached by Douglas Roberts, who is in his first year as the coach. The Missouri Valley men's soccer team is ranked 7th in the nation in the NAIA poll and stepped out on conference for a midweek matchup against the 5th-ranked team in the nation, the Bellevue Bruins. Scoreless into the second half when Missouri Valley had a scoring chance, but when a Bruin defender used his hand to keep the ball from across the goal line. That's a red card and set up a penalty kick for Valley State Richards. He converted the PK, and that was all of the scoring. Missouri Valley tops Bellevue 1-0. The Vikings held the Bruins to just 2 shots in the match and improved their overall record to 10-1-2. Missouri Valley needed a win against Park to keep its top spot in the Heart of America Athletic Conference standings, and less than 5 minutes into the match, Sam Green scored his 11th goal of the year. Park almost tied the game, but the shot hit the crossbar. The Pirates had a couple other chances missed wide, and Green's goal stood up. Missouri Valley improved to 7-0-1 in the Heart with the 1-0 win, and the Vikings kept their top spot in the conference standings. The men's team hit the road for games against Baker on the 23rd and Graceland on the 26th. The Missouri Valley women's soccer team also is in first place in the Heart of America Conference standings. Unlike the men's team, the lead for the women was just 1 point, so the Vikings had to beat Park to keep that top spot. Missouri Valley scored first, with a little help from Park. The corner kick hit off the hands of Park's keeper, then off the shoulder of the defender, and then into the net. Maddie Hudson gave Valley a 2-goal lead with her shot from the center of the box. Still in the first half, Park put the ball off its own crossbar, and Ashley Arribas headed in for her team-leading 9th goal of the year. That made it 3-0 Vikings. Valley scored a 4th first-half goal on a sharp angle attempt from Judith Ferrer. Carla Carmona added a PK in the second half, and Missouri Valley rolls Park 5-0. Valley stays 1 point ahead of Central Methodist for the top spot in the Heart and improves to 8-1 on the year. Missouri Valley women's soccer team is one of the leading teams in the Heart of America Conference. Showing balance between offense and defense, the Vikings' ability to adapt and control both sides of the game has made a difference this season.
The women's soccer team has had very good results in the season so far. The Vikings will have to continue the defensive solidity and team unity.
It's always nice to have players, multiple players who can score goals and make an impact in the game. I think this year we have a handful of players who have scored multiple goals, and I just feel like that takes the pressure off the team as a whole when you have other players each game that can step up, make an impact in the game.
The Vikings have worked to have several players within the team step up and be leaders, forcing the other teams to adapt to new situations on the field.
It would be good if we keep playing like we know, like passing each other, supporting each other's in and out outside the field. I mean, our expectations are like pretty high because we've been playing, I think, really good these last games. So I think it's just like keep playing how we know.
This gave the team a competitive advantage within the conference, not relying on a single player, but that in every game there can be a new trait.
This year we're like a little family. Like we have a good relationship between everyone, and I think that's the key why we're doing so good in conference this year.
The Vikings will continue to impose themselves on the teams in this final conference stretch, and could be closer to the goal they want to achieve in a couple of weeks.
The women's soccer team has 2 games left where they try to maintain the balance of the team that has characterized their play during the whole season. The Missouri Valley football teams ran through 3 consecutive ranked opponents, made its second stop. Again on the road, but this time against the 14th ranked Mid-America Nazarene Pioneers. The Pioneers averaged 54 points per game heading into the contest against Valley, and scored on their first possession to take the lead. MNU extended it to 14 points on an interception return. That's the second straight week a Valley interception was returned for a touchdown. Valley did get on the board in the first half on Rondarius Gregory's 13-yard run, but the Vikings offense didn't do much after that. Missouri Valley managed just 69 yards following that first quarter touchdown. Just 25 in the second half, and Valley falls to MNU 34-7. Missouri Valley is 3-3 heading into its homecoming match against 8th-ranked Benedictine on the 26th. Cross country is a sport where grit, endurance, and strategy meet. KMVC's Jimmy Shorunke reports on how cross-country running is not just about speed and overcoming diverse terrains and the elements, but also about overcoming the limits of the body and mind.
They're totally two different things. You're training different energy systems and different muscle types there. So, you know, you train both of them, but you train them differently. The endurance type is your longer runs, and then your threshold type runs, and then your speed would be your reps, your rep work, or your strides after practice, after you get through with your run. Well, this year I got in late last year, so I wasn't able to do the recruiting because someone else was here originally, and then they left, and so I took over. So I had a couple of athletes actually from Kenya that didn't show up this year that I was expecting to come in, and we would have been a much better team. But there's basically you're coaching athletes. Whenever you're, it doesn't matter if it's distance, sprinting, whatever it might be, you're coaching athletes. So you just prepare the athlete, and you're hoping that, or you're training them to be the best they possibly can be and be that All-American. And
we've seen some teams adopt a pack running strategy, working together to maintain a steady tempo and pick off competition individually. Others are taking a more aggressive approach with runner ahead to try to break through rhythm of their rivals.
Certain pace, so you're wanting to get in there and run a certain pace and then be competitive. And by running your race, you're going to be able to compete with other athletes, and if they're going, you should be confident in your training, what you have done throughout the year to lead up to that time, to where you are able to race with those individuals and hopefully at the end be in front of them and win championships.
Jimmy Shorunke, and this is KMVC News.
The cross-country teams round out the fall schedule with the Hart Conference Championship on November 9th. The Missouri Valley women's volleyball team sat in 6th place in the Heart of American Conference, entering its game on the 19th. The Vikings closed the regular season with 4 of the final 6 games on the road, and 4 games are against teams who are also in playoff position. The Vikings face the Baker Wildcats, and Baker is trying to claw its way into playoff position. Valley ended the first set on a 9-2 run to win 25-18. The Vikings dropped the second set to Baker. The Vikings and Wildcats were tied at 17 in the third set when Valley scored 5 straight in helping to win the third 25-21, and it took more than 25 to win the fourth. Baker led 24-22 but couldn't close out Missouri Valley. The Vikings take the fourth 27-25 and they win the match. Valley is now 6-5 in conference, heading into a match at Central Methodist on the 22nd and a weekend set on the road against William Penn and Graceland. Just 2 games separate 4th in the conference from 9th-10th. Some Missouri Valley students went from the horror that was their midterms to some horror films on their silver screen. It was movie night for Missouri Valley. The students had their IDs and got in for free to see one of 2 movies that night, because Halloween is just around the corner. They had a choice of seeing either the sequel to the 2019 Joker film or the new horror film Monster Summer. No reports on which was scarier, the midterms or the movies. Missouri Valley celebrates homecoming. That's next week for KMVC News. Thanks for watching. I'm Ilenia Exposito.